This DNA thing is so empowering for everybody. But understand what I just said. You can do anything. You can cure a cancer. You can cure swelled brains. You can cure anything. You have to understand this whole process. Because, my friends, this is the process. This body is so malleable. Malleable? That's right, malleable. And understand this thing. If you could understand what I'm going to say right now, you could live to be 150 years old on this dimension. And you'd look better than you did 10 years ago. Because understand this thing, my friend. This whole process, this body is made up of DNA strands throughout the whole process. And if you learn to communicate with your DNA, you know, the medium tells you awaken the chromosomes of youth and vitality. And that's the 22nd chromosome. But understand, that's just part of the DNA. That's the whole process, right? Because he says, if you really wanted to heal this process, you start with that one right there. Awakening the chromosomes of youth and vitality. And I tell you these things, ladies and gentlemen, but understand this thing. Your lines will start disappearing. And I'm telling you right now, because I don't anticipate you're going to believe me, but I still tell you, if you really wanted to, you can begin to shrink the lines in your face. And it won't happen today or tomorrow. But it took a few more days to get them over here, right? So understand this thing. You start right now, and I tell you this thing. If you get into this thing, what I'm talking about right now, is cancers, leukemias, anything. Doesn't matter what you've programmed into your DNA. Because understand this thing. The DNA is the most malleable part of your whole system. Because it's where it all starts. You know, your mommy and daddy come together in this beautiful journey to awaken your light. And that's where it all started. And you know this thing that mommy had a cancer problem or a heart problem or whatever, and therefore you're going to have it. That's not true. It's you understand what I'm saying? It could be possible, but it doesn't necessarily make it true possibilities. Because understand this. Your daddy, let's say your daddy had a heart disease, and he died at 50 years old, and you're now coming up to 50 years old, and you're thinking, oh my God, my dad died at 50 years old, and oh, my heart doesn't feel so good right now, I tell you that. Well, that's where you're talking into the whole journey. But understand this thing. The first foot of this whole journey is only 1 foot of the other 5 foot available. So you had to get into this. You got to talk to this DNA strands. And you know what? If you don't know, I told my medium, he's working a young fella over here. I told him to get to the 3rd foot of the DNA strands and just click this one right there. And he tells me, I can't find the 1st foot. I said, well, that's a great thing. But he told me, he said, I can't. But now I've got him thinking about it. Because what you got to understand is you don't have to know exactly where anything is. You got to talk to it anyway. Because if you talk to it and you know it's there, it will listen to you. So what I'm telling you right now, lads and lasses, this is the perfect journey for all of us to understand. It's absolutely the perfect journey if you want to live here. And you don't want to be 150 or 200 years. These bodies are not made for that. They're made to wear out, you know. 75, 80 years, most of you, 65, 75, 85 years. But that's where you understand this. But understand this as well. Because the people listening to this program, shh, don't tell everybody. But the people listening to this program right now, the DNA is in their bodies. They're going, hey, why don't they listen to him? I'm about to get cancer. I don't want to get cancer. I want to live to be 100 years old over here. That's what your DNA is saying inside of your body. Just because you're hearing my mediums and my words and understand this thing. They're listening to you right now. But listen to this. This is going to be killers, right? Because the other ones, you're sitting there saying, well, yeah, but if I don't get it right now, I'm going to die of leukemia or whatever because my mom died of it. And this, blah, blah, blah. It's listening all the time. 100% of the day, 24-hour day, 365-day year, it's listening every second of your day. Now, how's it come in here? I've told you, and then we'll go to questions. The sun is the Creator's wisdom to get into this whole journey. S-U-N, not the S-O-N, the S-U-N. And it comes out to heat the molten lava of the earth plane. And understand this. It comes up to the blue waters until it gets to something called the Schumann resonance. That's a silly little name, but it's a guy found it out. That's good. Schumann resonant, and what it does, it tunes to your heart, and your heart attunes to it. And understand this, when you get your tuned into this whole journey, it's not just your heart beater, but your heart chakra. And this whole thing comes up to play, and it goes up to your brain. And the brain takes it and turmoils it and turns it upside down and backwards and forwards and sends it down to your 70 trillion cells. Wow. Now, that's the whole journey right there, my friends. My medium, he tells you signature cell healing is the answer, and it is the answer. But understand this thing. For those of you who can't afford it, you can't do it, you don't want to believe in it, blah, 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 just simply talk to your cells right now and get inside your cells and get to the DNA and tell it you don't want to die, or you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that. You got to tell it something right now and understand this thing. This is the magic force right now. I'm telling you, every cell in your body is hearing what I'm going to say. You don't have to die. That's the key right there. So there you go.